Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel AI Discoveries. So yeah, in continuation with the series of Fast API, I'll be talking about the other activities, the advanced activities, where we can actually connect with the um, Excel sheet and perform the get and post activities. And once we are performing this post activities, put activities, delete activities, it will be reflecting into the files, Excel file. So let's start with that. So let's go to the Visual Studio Code. I have already opened it. So let's come to that point and let's start with that. So in my previous video, you can see that I have implemented get and post activities and put activities in all those activities. So but yeah, here everything I was using as a session. Now I'll be taking up this advanced topic where I can just connect with Excel sheet, or maybe even you can, when you wanted to have it as a customized, maybe you can connect with some sort of database or something like that. But as of now, I'm taking Excel sheet as a database. I'm just kind of creating it and then I'll move it. So let's start with that. So I'll start creating a file. So let me just create a file over here. So let's just do that. File activities, py activity.py. So this is there, and now and for the requirement.txt, it would be updated. Like obviously the fast API, the UVCon and pandating would be there. The one more library would be added in the terms of implementing the Excel, or maybe processing this Excel. So there would be, this is the API like open py Excel. This is the API which will support the activities related to the Excels. So let's start with that. So obviously I'll not take these up. Obviously I'll take this not whole code, the only these activities, and obviously I'll be doing some manipulation over the code. So some of the things would be common and some of the things would be added over here. So that's why I'm not going to touch this whole file. I'll be creating a new file and I'll be like kind of executing that. So let's cancel this and start with that. So let me again, as I mentioned, I'll be taking up from, I already created a script and I'll take it from there, and just for the understanding purpose I'll take it one by one, so that I can explain what are the codes and what is the script doing it. So I can say that what is the flow it is going to have, going to perform any activities or not. So let's start with this the library, importing the library. So I'll just do the importing of the library. So here you can see that I am just importing the fast API, the pandatic and other things. So the before it, in the previous video also I just imported these three libraries, but the other libraries I can say that the open py Excel libraries, where it will talk about, it will support about the webhook and the load webhook, and open py util, it will actually get the common column later. So basically we need to process certain data points with respect to rows and columns. So that's how we need to take that. And again the import OS, because we are going to deal with the file path, because what I'll do is I'll create the file, Excel file, and save it locally, and then then after that I'll be storing all the data as a post activities. And obviously when it comes to the post put activities, there should be some existing data that need to be updated, and then after that we need to update it. And for the delete, obviously there should be some existing data that need to be deleted. That's how we basically perform that. And again the UVCon for running that, and this is the app. You already know that this is the object of the fast API. Now the second point is like we need to just create this class, and the class would be the activity name. I just kept it as for understanding, and the parameter would be name, location and duration. Obviously I'll be taking the common data points which I already used in this series. So that's how I'm taking it up. Now after that, once I'm done with that, so I'll be creating a file path. So as I mentioned, I'll be taking the local path to save the file. This is the activities.xlx file where I'll be creating it and I'll be saving in the name of activities.xlx. So this is one. Now I'll be taking the function. I'll be creating one function where I'll be kind of checking whether the Excel is already existing or not, and then after that I'll be creating the data points, the column names of that. So here you can see in this initialize Excel function what I'm doing it. I'm checking that whether this path is existing or not. It means that this file is existing or not. If it is not existing, we just need to create the one webhook, which is we need to make it as active, and then in that sheet we need to append these column names: ID, name, location, and duration. And then after that, using the webhook function, we just need to save it. So this is how we need to initialize the Excel sheet and create the Excel sheet, and then after that we need to append those, we need to name those column values, column names, and then save it. So this is one, I initialize that. Now again, this is the get activities. So it's something like when you are kind of performing the get activities. So everything I defined it as a different function, so that it, for understanding purpose, it will be better to understand it. So with the get activities, what is happening in this function, it is just loading this webhook, loading the file, the Excel file, and then after that it is just taking the active sheet which is there, and then after that it is creating a list of the list variable, and then after that obviously when we are doing the get activities, we are not going to take the first column values. It would be the header. So that's why we are starting with the minimum 2 row, and then we are kind of appending those values like ID is a row number 0, name, location, and duration, and then returning that activities. So everything is we have created the list variables, and then appending those variable data values as a JSON data, and then kind of we are returning it so that we can perform the get activities. So this is how we perform the get activities. Obviously when it comes to the get activity process, so you will have the better understanding of it. Now again comes to the write to the Excel sheet. So this function will be used when you are going to do the post activities. So what again we are doing is we are just loading the sheet using the webhook, and then after that under the sheet we are just taking the next ID is max row. What is the maximum row? We just what is the length of the row? It's basically identifying the length of the row, how many data points are added, and then after that we are just adding the next ID, because we are adding one by one. For the row number 0, these are the data values. For the row number 1, these are the data values. So obviously we are just identifying what is the last row the data is already added, so that the next ID will be generated, and in the net ID it would be added. Like let's suppose the till 3 row number it is added, so the next ID would be the 4, and then after that the activity name, the location, and activities would be added, and then obviously we are saving it and returning the next ID. That is one. So that is how we are kind of doing the post activities. And here with respect to there is a update function. So obviously as I mentioned, for each and every activities we have a separate function which we will be calling one by one during the activities call. So obviously when we are doing the update activities, we are loading the sheet, and then we are doing the iteration from there, and after that we are checking that what is the activity ID we are going to fetch it or update it, and based on that whatever the data value we are passing it, then we are updating those data values. So in that everything will be comes as a parameter for the updated activities. Under this in this variable, all this value would be added as a JSON. So we are fetching one by one and then kind of updating it. So this is how we are updating it. This is one condition, if condition. If it is not finding any, it will throw an activity is not found. So that is one when we are doing to perform that update activities. Now again, when it comes to the delete activities, we just need to identify what is the activities we wanted to delete it. So obviously we need to find it out. So again, loading it, and then kind of identifying what is the activity ID you wanted to delete it, and then after that you just get that row and delete that, and then after that you are saving it. So for everything we are just for everything the common part is loading the sheet and the saving the sheet. And before that, whatever activities we wanted to update it, we are updating it, like either delete or update or add, whatever the things, accordingly we are going with that. So the things are very not easy, not hard. So obviously this is the function call what I am doing it. So why I'm calling this function uh, on first hand to initialize the Excel. Why? So to initialize Excel, why we are doing that? Because we need to create the Excel sheet first, then only we can perform any activities, either get activities, put activities, any activities, because we are actually trying to finding out uh, the element from the Excel sheet. So that's why we are kind of identified. Now we'll start with the get activities. Obviously there will be some manipulation, or there would be some difference in the code of the get activities. So the function and the object would be the same. Again, I would say this is the object of that FastApi, and this is activities what we are doing it. And then in that we are just calling the get activities from the Excel, and then we are returning that. And again, for the post activities we are doing the same thing. We are just coming to this point, and then what we are doing is we are just creating these activities and then kind of saving it, and we are calling this write to Excel file, because we are writing it, we are adding the data, and in return we are just getting this, we are calling this class, we are calling this activity and doing that model.dump. So this is the function definition of this model.dump, and the activity ID it is returning that. So this is how we do the post activities. And then after that there would be the put activity. uh, so again, we are just calling different function in the name of the activities. So again we are just calling this update function, and in return we are just dumping as a we are dumping those values as a JSON format, because here in the Excel format the data would be in the form of the rows and columns, but but when we are representing the data it would be in the JSON format. That's why we are using the dump function. Even if you are aware of the Python function, when we are converting to a string to Excel, a string to JSON, the dumps function would be used. But yeah, this is how. So again, we are done with this coding part. Again, with the delete function also, you can see that I'm just calling this get activities, and the get activities whatever the ID we are just passing it, and then after that we are just setting the exception handling, and then we are calling the delete activities. So yeah, so obviously for each and every activities I'm calling the different function, and then performing those activities accordingly. So this is how we do the attaching everything and creating those files. So if you see here, let me just do the clear, and I'll just start with that. So let me just the environment is already clear, so let me just run that file, Python file activity. So once I run that, yeah, so obviously it is running on the port number 5000, and this is how, and once I run that, obviously when you saw, I am just calling this initialize function. With that you can see that there is activity.excel file is activated. Now it got created. Now I'll be able to perform all those activities. So let me just, as usual, let me take you to the browser where I can showcase the Swagger file and everything. So let me just go to that, and once I'll come to this, obviously there is no data, and once I give that docs of it, so you would be able to see that the Swagger file of all these activities. And when I come to this, um, and as I mentioned, each and everything, you can see that the other parameter and the aspect of that. And then after that, obviously you will be able, I'll be walk you through the testing of these APIs. So the APIs are created, and you can see all these activities, and the um, parameters are defined. Now let's come to the testing purpose. So let me start with the get activities. I already am using the older headers and the endpoints. Obviously, if there is no change in that calling, because the way we are calling it's the same. The only thing is we are attached with the Excel sheet. That would, even in for you also, if you wanted to connect with any data sort of databases, you can connect with it. It's just you, instead of placing the Excel sheet, you just need to place the database endpoint and all other parameters. So as of now, I don't have any database access, so that's why I'm just starting with that. But yeah, so let's start with this. Let me do the get activities. So initially there would be no data, but let me just add some data. So let me just give name. I love discoveries, location Mumbai, and duration would be 30 minutes. So let me just add it. So you can see here I would be able to get some data in the data get activities. So you can see that this is one. I'll again I'll showcase that the Excel sheet again. So even let me add one more data. So let me just again I'll do the same process. AI discoveries, location Mumbai, and I'll just put India, and the duration I would say 20 minutes, or any value. Maybe I can just give 50 minutes. So let me just add that post activities. So yeah, this is the data I got updated. So this is how the things are there. Now with that, I'll be walking. Let me just do the put activities. So let me just add these activities of one. So in that India, I'll just give USA. So I'll just give 30 minutes. So let me just update it. So yeah, it is got updated, and when come to the point, it will get updated with the USA. So this is how it happened. So if you see here for the if you wanted to delete this activity number 2, so let me just give that, and it will give you the delete activity. So yeah, this is how it will delete that. So this is how we perform the get and post activities. And yeah, if you wanted, let me showcase the XLS file. Let me just open it my in the local. Let me just window E, and when it comes to the local D, so I'll be coming to this Docker testing, FastApi, this activities. If you see that, it will showcase the other data, because I have if you see here, if you go to the get activities, and if you see that this is the only data AI discoveries USA and 30 minutes, and you can see that this is the data it is mentioned over here. So yeah, this is how you can perform the activities with respect to Excel, and this is how we generally connect with that. So when you connect it with any databases, obviously there would be less difference, but yeah, comment it out, like if you require the integration of databases in the get and post activities, creating the API, I would happy to do that. But yeah, I need your support and encouragement to perform these activities. So yeah, this obviously thank you guys, thank you for being here. And obviously, this video took me a lot effort to perform and create this script. So thank you. Please like, share, and comment, and please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Thank you, guys.